What is going on, guys? It's Cali K9 and I'm here to go over some breed-specific challenges. Today we are going to dive in and talk about the Rottweiler and the specific challenges that come with owning a Rottweiler. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends about this one because this is going to be a good one. Let's dive into it. So when it comes to the Rottweiler, there's a lot of things to understand. And for a long time, you didn't see as many Rotties around. And I think certain breeds kind of come and go with the times because I think sometimes things kind of become trendy because maybe the Westminster show or because how people are training or just dogs kind of are popular than they're not, right? So one thing about the Rottweiler, guys, is I love this breed. I've always been in bigger breeds, dogs for protection, working dogs. That's how I came into dog training. Of course, I work with everything from Yorkies and Maltipoos and Labradoodles and everything, but I love the Rottweiler. Now, one thing about the Rottweiler is you need to understand certain qualities about the Rottweiler, and this is what keeps you out of trouble. Now, a lot of times, people choose dogs because they might like how the breed looks, but they have to understand how the breed operates. And ultimately, this is what's gonna keep you safe and what's gonna actually keep you from having a liability if you understand this breed a lot more. One of the things I'm gonna talk about right off the back is the dominance of the Rottweiler, okay? The Rottweiler is a guardian breed and it does not take any mess if he thinks that he's the tough guy, right? So you need to make sure that you don't allow your dog think that it's getting tough with you. Because if your dog thinks it can dominate you in the house, now you're in for some trouble and it's gonna be growling, reacting, and maybe even trying to take a bite out of you, right? So you can't let this dog get it in its mind that it's running the show, okay? Very strong-willed Rottweilers can be very dangerous if you do not get a grip on it earlier. And when I say get a grip on it, it's just simply establishing absolute obedience and making sure your dog actually respects your obedience. Very, very important because these dogs will challenge you, okay? And there's times where their dominance can turn into things like food aggression or possession aggression. So if your dog thinks that what's on the ground belongs to him, he might challenge you for it. So you need to make sure that your dog respects you enough to say, hey, no, you lay down, I'm gonna pick that up. It's not yours, it's mine. Another thing you need to understand about Rotties is their stubbornness. So making sure your dog is on a leash and making sure that you're showing them what they're supposed to do and motivating them to get used to doing it, right? Don't just try to go, with force and being all demanding and commanding. The Rottweiler will show a lot of resistance and a lot of stubbornness. And that stubbornness can sometimes create a longer training journey. If you can figure out what they like, then you can actually make them want to work with you. And I always like to establish my pack leadership by consistency, not so much trying to just confront the dog or after a couple behaviors. I need to make sure that the dog is very clear about what he's supposed to do. Then I'll start adding a little more urgency and correction. But first and foremost, I'm gonna make sure that the Rottweiler just loves to do what it is that I need him to do. But I do need to establish pack leadership and I do need to get into correction as early as necessary before the dog gets it in its mind that it's running the show, because that will get dangerous. It gets dangerous for children. It gets dangerous for the more weaker people around the household. So you need to make sure that you're teaching the Rott clearly so the dog knows his job and that everybody can control the dog in the household. Now you have to remember that a Rottweiler is a guard dog, so they're not gonna take to strangers too easily, okay? So don't think that anybody can just walk in your house and your Rottweiler is gonna say, hey man, who are you? Remember the origin of the breed and why they were bred, right? We have to understand what they were used for. Some dogs are used for herding, some dogs are used for protective and guarding. So these dogs have strong temperaments and they will challenge a newcomer, a new dog, and that will turn into dominance and aggression. The only way you're gonna get a dog to not be aggressive is for him to actually really mind you when he's stimulated. And you need to make sure that you're working on obedience with high levels of distraction, and you have to make sure that you can take your dog out of that guardian mode and take him back into sociability mode. Otherwise, your dog's just gonna be picking out all these different people that it wants to try to be aggressive with. And again, that will get old quick and you won't be able to take your dog to new places because it'll think that by default, it just gets aggressive with whoever it's either unsure about, insecure about, or whoever it feels like it wants to dominate. you need to make sure that your Rottweiler has absolute obedience so you can turn them off when they get turned up. Because if they get turned up in that aggression, if you're not making the proper correction, you're gonna turn them up even more. So you need to teach them that even when they're stimulated, they need to come back down and mind your obedience. And this is why it's so important to set a foundation up for training and making sure that your Rottweiler is very clear that is a lower ranking member of the household. Again, when you have kids, sometimes dogs will challenge the kids because they're smaller, they're lightly spoken, they're seeing eye to eye. So you don't want to let your Rottweiler think that it dominates half of the family or all of the family ever, okay? Not the breed for that. Again, you train a Rottweiler, you can teach him protection, you can teach him obedience, you can create a great social all-around dog. I love them because they have great temperaments. You know, they're so loving. They're so they're great. They're big, gentle giants. But again, guys, I don't just point out all the good things. I have to point out the real stuff that'll get you in trouble. So when you have a Rottweiler, give him lots of socialization, lots of structure. Make sure that you're exercising this dog because this is a dog that will get destructive and will also chew up stuff. You don't want to allow him to get bored because then your favorite pair of tennis shoes is going to get chewed up or the remote control to the TV or whatever the case may be. Make sure you're giving your dog proper outlets. Now, the thing I love about Rottweilers is unlike some breeds, they have so much energy. A lot of Rottweilers will be pretty tired if you work them, you know, a good amount of time. You know, with some dogs, they don't calm down. So they just go, go, go. With a Rottweiler, you can work them and they'll go chill out. And that's what's great. Now, earlier in my career, I always had Belgian Malinois. I like the flashiness. I like the speed. And you can get that out of a Rottweiler too. But when it's time to chill out, the Rottweiler will go chill out. But the difference is the Rottweiler a lot of times can be a lot more dominant and a lot more confrontational. And when you're dealing with a dog with natural confrontational nature, you need to double down on that obedience, socialization, and be managing that behavior so things don't get out of control. So guys, that was just a little brief understanding of the challenges that come with a Rottweiler. If you have some more challenges that you have, make sure to drop that in the comments. Make sure to like this post and subscribe to this channel. We have nothing but more hot content coming, guys. So I want you guys to be a part of this Cali K9 family. Make sure to hit the links in the description if you're ready to train, if you want to get a training kit, want some merch, or you just want to show some love and be part of our community. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for the Rottweiler today, and we'll see you on the next one.